All right, here we
Cool.
go.
In the interim.
Ta-da. I'm here today with Gavin and Paul, who I met in Connecticut at a Magic the Gathering tournament. Well, I guess it was more than that. It
Hmm,
had some other things going on too.
Yeah, it was
And
the
absolutely.
big SCG con. They got everything there. If it was a trading card game that was live, I'm sure they had an event for it.
yeah, we tried some of the games. I don't remember their names at the table there, and then we from the prize wall we brought some home and gave them a whirl. But
Awesome.
nothing quite lives up to Magic.
Very few things do. Very few things do. Though,
So
if you want to hear about a trading card game that I think is the second best trading card game of all time, I will talk your ear off about the X-Files trading card game. It's a phenomenal game. It captured the flavor of the show perfectly, and it's just kind of everything that I like about Magic, but a little bit different.
It's a, good podcast start when we're already talking card games. So
yeah.
Oh,
I've
I
never even heard of the X-Files games.
Yeah.
Like,
So the
wow.
X-Files trading card game lasted basically 2 years. It
Uh-huh.
was three sets. As soon as they established a fan base, the company that made the game decided to pull the plug. They had a new set that was in production. They were a printer as well as a game design company. They pulled it from their printer and basically put it straight from the printing machine into the incinerator.
Wow.
But the cards were all
Wow.
designed and done and everything. But yeah,
Crazy.
it's
The
everything you would want in like a 90s trading card game.
the only I don't know if this is a trading card game or a lot of board games have kind of gone to a deck building format.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I've played a lot of Arkham Horror. Have
Okay.
you
Hmm.
guys played any of that?
I haven't
Very
played. I've heard
little.
nothing but good things. I'm really into the Lord of the Rings Duel, which is
Oh,
a
yeah.
card game. I don't know. It's a card and deck and board game. Kind of meshes all three things. I like it because there's multiple win conditions, and so you can win either by dominating the board, you know, recruiting all the different races of elves and humans and everything, or you could, get the ring. And one player plays as Sauron, and one player plays as the Fellowship, and so it's very competitive. It's a very fun game. So I'll shout that one out. That one's one of my favorites.
We on a previous podcast, one of my friends and I went to a Hobbit house in Oregon and
Wow.
got to spend the
That sounds
night there. It's a
awesome.
bed B&B. They did such a nice job. It was
I
amazing.
I don't know if you remember, but when we played in Connecticut, my playmat is a Hobbit house. It's the little the
Oh
Shire
yeah.
Hobbit
Bag
house.
end.
That's my the bag end. Yeah. So I would love to go to see that at some point.
It
Yeah.
was really great. It was really great. This is my playmat.
Oh
It's an
yeah.
RK post and Harry Potter combined, so you gotta
Heck
like
yeah.
it. And
Love it.
yeah,
RK
Amazing.
Post is
and
great.
then my what's funny is my son and I used to go to Grand Prix when there were a lot of those, and so I would take the mat as so I bought a mat for me, and he bought me one for Christmas at a
Mm.
different thing he went to, and so then I've taken it to the Grand Prix I've gone to, and then
Oh my
RK Post
gosh.
signs it at the different ones,
That's
and
amazing.
so
That's such
it's
a cool piece of magic and family history, you know?
yeah, yeah. And so I've got two of them. Only one of them made it to Connecticut, but to get
It was a
signed.
privilege to play against you, by the way. How long have you been playing for?
My son would say that I still don't play. Uh,
Oh, you almost kicked my ass. Sorry, I don't know if you can
yeah.
say that on your podcast, but
Oh yeah.
wow,
I,
you were really you'd never played the set before, and you were throwing combat tricks out there and everything. So,
well, my the way I got into Magic, and then I'd kind of like to hear how you guys got into it. The way
Yeah.
I got
hmm,
into Magic is that my son played Pokemon. And
hmm.
so after you collect the cards, then he wanted to play. And so we had to learn how to play. And then, like that card set you were talking about, Paul, there was a Harry Potter trading card game
I
that,
remember it.
I, well, if you ever need any cards, I've got a ton of them. and So my sister and my son and I, we played a lot of Harry Potter, and then of course they lost because it became too expensive to pay for the franchise. And and then he moved on to Yu-Gi-Oh! And I thought, well, that's it. I'm not going to learn any more new games. And and then he stayed in Yu-Gi-Oh! A long time ago. Okay, well, I'll learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And as soon as I learned how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! He moved to Magic the Gathering. And I was like, that's it. I'm never playing. I learned these other games. And and then like a decade went by. I go, well, I guess I better learn how to play Magic.
Wow, that's
So
incredible. So he went from
anyway,
the arguably the easiest kind of card game and escalated from there
yeah.
to the most complex. I also played Yu-Gi-Oh! I also played Pokemon growing up, collected the cards, but just to hear, your journey through it as well as his journey through it. I mean, just to be connected with your grandson, that's amazing.
No,
It
no,
sounds like you guys have had a lot of your son,
my
your
son. That's
son,
okay.
and like you've just had this amazing, bond of, if I asked my mom to play Magic the Gathering with me, I think I would get a hard no. So it's amazing that, you guys are able to do that. And, it's a great game. It really is. It's like, it's incredibly, uh, both simple and complex, and
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed those aspects of it. But you really mastered all of the card games, it seems like.
Oh yeah, mastered quite a word you've used there. And I would say that that's not true. My son plays Legacy, and so
Hmm.
he has mastered the game. He's never won a Grand Prix or anything, but he's made it into day two
Hmm.
before, but not in Connecticut. And so they went disc golfing instead the
Hey,
next
disc
day.
golf is great too.
Yeah.
Paul, how did you end up in Magic? I mean, like it's
So
always just been your go-to, right?
I grew up playing games. Like my sister and I learned how to read and do math by sitting on our parents' lap and playing games. That was what we did. It's like in our blood, you know. My family is hyper competitive. So that was just kind of instilled in us at an early age, playing games. And then I was also a big Star Trek nerd growing up. And I was reading in a Star Trek magazine one day that there's going to be a new Star Trek card game coming out. So, boom, instantly, I'm down the road to the local comic book store that was like, I don't know, a mile from my house growing up. And I rushed in and I'm like, hey, do you have that new Star Trek game? And they're like, oh, it's the middle of summer. That game's not coming out till the fall, like November or maybe December. We don't know yet. They're like, but if you're interested, you should check out this Magic game because it's basically the game that inspired it. And I'm like, Magic? What's this? And so the guy put a revised booster pack in my hand and a revised starter deck and pulled out this giant box of common cards that if I knew anything back then, I would have bought the whole box because it was alpha, beta, unlimited commons that
Oh
were
man.
like a nickel to a quarter a piece. Uncommons in there also, like,
Yeah, it just shows you
and
gotta buy everything you can see.
yeah, yeah, if I'd only known. But I did after thinking about it, reading the box over, it had this cool description about each player must have a deck and the game's not over until the last life point is taken. It's very serious, the like
So
description on the
serious.
revised magic box
Hmm.
and booster pack.
It's life
But
or death.
my sister and I, who's 2 years younger than I, we each bought a starter deck and a couple of boosters. And the owner of the shop was really nice. He gave us a giant stack of basic land. He's like, you're going to need this. I've got more than I know what to do with. Here you go. And so we went home and cracked our packs. Like my mom drove us there and she drove us home and we cracked our packs. And I was most excited about the card Hypnotic Spectre, which isn't rare. It's an uncommon back then, but it just looked really cool. It's just this spirit ghost in armor floating there. And I just thought it looked really awesome. And so the first deck that I ever built seriously after we learned how to play and stopped just playing every card that we owned in this giant 250 card pile was a mono black deck that was just like Dark Rituals, Hypnotic Specters, etc. And I just stayed hooked. And growing up, my mom worked at a toy store that was in the town over from us, and the owners there were into Beanie Babies and selling collectible stuff. And so when Magic was a hit also, and TCGs were like the new hotness, and people were dumping their life savings into them, thinking they were going to retire on that, the owner there bought in and bought like every trading card game that was out in like 94, 95 era. And
Hmm.
then, if people don't know, there was a glut of trading card games in 95, and it basically led to a crash that combined with some other things going on with Magic. Certain sets that people might remember named Fallen Empires and Homelands and Chronicles all happened, and basically the secondary market collapsed for trading card games because all the scalpers and resellers all of a sudden lost their shirts.
Hmm.
And so that store that my mom worked at was blowing out all their other trading card games for like $1 a booster pack, $2,
Wow.
$3 a
Oh,
starter deck. And I'm like, well, I love Magic. I love this Star Trek game that I've got into. I don't know what this On the Edge or this Illuminati game are or this Rage game, but it's cheap. Buy it all up, take it all home. And I've just been hooked on games like it ever since. I really love games that allow you to not only express yourself and do something kind of creative in a certain way, but also just like play the type of game that you want to play. That's one of the things that keeps me coming back to Magic, because you can really build a deck that suits your personality, it suits your play style in pretty much any format that you play. I obviously, as a limited podcaster with Gavin, I gravitate towards limited above all, but I just really like that kind of element of being able to do the style of play that you like to do. And I try and look for that in every game I play. What is something that I can latch onto as a play style? What's going to support the kind of play that I like to have in any game that I play?
the reason I like limited is because like Paul had a job in Boston for a couple of years. My son's name is Paul, not you, Paul.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And 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 so I didn't play Magic while he was gone. And so then you can go back to limited, and I feel like the playing field's kind of level. I don't have to know the other mechanics that have come in the last 2 or 3 years, and I can just start again. And
Hmm.
there's
A clean
always some
slate.
variants that
Hmm.
where I have a chance.
You had more than a chance. I distinctly remember playing against you and being like sweating bullets because your play style is quite aggressive, if I do say so myself. And it was I felt like I was just ducking blows the whole time. So playing against you was really fun. It's obviously, going to these events and playing in these things. You get to go to Magic the Gathering, the community. Your son was there to participate in the regional, but obviously, not everybody is there for the competition. You
Yeah.
can be there for the collecting aspect of it, the commander aspect. I mean, commander itself is like this whole other world
Wow.
almost of
Yeah.
just like, the different levels of decks that you can create, the personality that you were saying, Paul, that you can put into it. I love limited because um, it's a new deck every time. You're never going to play the same deck twice, right? So the
Well, unless you draft the
unpredictability,
same deck.
right? Well, the thing is, like you can find the unexpected every time because
Yeah.
you're looking at a different pack of cards every time. You have to remember what has come before, what is coming after, what signals are open. It uses every part of it. Every time I go to a Magic event, I come home tired. I use all of my brain, what little I have to do so, and it just is the most exhilarating thing when you pull off that unexpected win or come from behind victory. That's what keeps me hooked on Magic and other card games too. I mean, I did play Yu-Gi-Oh for a while, back in the early 2000s. And I also collected Pokemon cards as my first one. So I definitely see the appeal of collecting as well. And I don't know. It just something about Magic just keeps bringing me back.
Well, I know that you're supposed to like look for what's open as you're going around and look at the signs. No, I'm way more random than that. I'm like, ooh, it's like what you said, Paul. It's like I forget what set had a bunch of cats in it. I thought, oh yeah, yeah, I'm gonna have a cat deck. I don't care what color, you know. All right,
Foundations is
whatever.
the most recent one that I can think of that had a big cat theme in it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. There was Cat Collector and Helpless Hunter or
Oh, I
Helpful
think it was
Hunter, excuse
before
Helpful
me.
that. It was the one
Hunter.
with the green pandas, panthers. Yeah,
Green
green
Panthers.
panthers and you know, the big lion with the
Oh, a Johnny?
yeah.
Hmm.
Like anyway, it was a while ago, but anyway, I'm a little
Uh,
more random, and I do want to say that I've gone to a lot of events and played against a 10-year-old that has just
hmm.
smoked me, and I think that there's and I've seen people play against like very young people and get irritated because they're beating them. And
Hmm.
there's when you sit down and you assess the person on the other side of the table, I think that I get because of my gray hair, I get like a pass on the first game. It's like they're, oh yeah, no, oh take it back,
Don't
oh
give her a
do this,
pass. No,
oh do
don't give her a
that,
pass.
and it's great.
She
And
will
then
gut you.
and then they're like, oh shit, you know. But
Honestly, I really, Magic has like such a wide spectrum of folks who can come and play this game. Magic is for everyone. And if you're playing somebody who's 10 or somebody who's 80, not that you are or anything, just whatever age you are, you can come to the game. You can have a great time. You can have respect for your opponent. That's really important. Respect your opponent, give them your best game, and don't shy away from the competition.
yeah, I'm just there to have a good time. Uh, Paul,
Absolutely.
I wonder, like when you
Yeah,
said your family was really competitive growing up, I grew up playing like hearts and pinochle and spades and those kind of card games or Monopoly, you know. How about
we
you?
played
What
we played a lot of traditional card games. There's a game that we grew up calling SWIP. All the Canadian relatives that I have call it SWIP, but in the US, more people know it as Casino or Big Casino. And it's a game where you're trying to collect cards that are worth points to the game. You're trying to collect the most cards and the most spades, but you basically start out with a tableau of cards on the board. Everybody has four cards in hand, and there's a tableau of four cards on the table, and you're trying to add cards together to equal other cards in your hand to pick them up. It's a lot of the same kind of heuristics that you develop playing limited magic, but in a
Hmm.
much simpler, more compact traditional game. And I constantly
Gotcha.
come back to that. That's one of our like staple family games. But my folks are into everything from like Splendor, Settlers of Catan.
yeah.
We've played pretty much everything you can think of board and card game wise. The big rule is that we don't play any cooperative games. So it's all competitive. It's all cutthroat. We play for blood. Occasionally, we'll play team games because some team games can be
You guys
really
must hate
neat, and they
Pandemic,
have.
huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. Nope. That game would not fly. That game
We
Banned.
played
would not
Pandemic
fly.
Legacy. That was fun.
Pandemic Legacy is awesome.
Yeah, that was really
I had a
great.
group going that did a Pandemic Legacy like for the whole year, and
Oh
that
wow.
was that was a heck of a game.
That was great.
It's just like so well designed, the game. I love Pandemic, but
Yeah.
honestly, it was a little bit on the nose for 2020. So
Yeah. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
ironically, Pandemic Legacy game that I was playing got canceled by the actual pandemic.
That is ironic.
You don't
Uh,
need to play the game. You lived it.
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite games? What do you like to play?
well, I don't know who you're asking, but I want to ask you guys a question. Did you ever
Sure.
play HeroClix?
I've never heard that one. No, what's
Oh,
that?
HeroClix. It was a trading card game, except it was action figures on like the
Interesting.
top of
It,
chess pieces.
yeah, it's a
And
Cool.
collectible minis game.
there you go. But
I believe it
it's
was the first collectible minis game. I could
but
be
What?
wrong about that, so don't quote me.
and it I didn't play it. I watched Paul play it, of course. But those things broke Like you just look at them sideways and they'd explode. So cards are way safer.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cardboard is way, way more durable than the plastic.
Little plastic stands they were on and stuff.
I will say that some of those it was the company WizKids that released that game. I will say that some of the licenses they got and some of the franchises they had, they put out really cool minis. Like
They
the Lord of the
did.
Rings minis, that looks like Elijah Wood. When you look at that Frodo Baggins, you're like, wow, they captured him in 2 inch tall Elijah Wood there.
I mean,
We
that's actual
yeah.
size though.
Yes, yes, it's Elijah Wood's actual size is 2 inches tall.
Well, we still have them all, broken or not. They're all out in the shed
That's
because they are
awesome.
really cool. But
Yeah.
man, you couldn't really, an 8-year-old kid trying to play with those.
Hmm.
That was an expensive venture.
Do you have a favorite Magic set or one that is like really nostalgic for you?
No, I can't. I don't really recall the
Hmm.
different sets, and a lot of times, that's what people say. Oh, I started playing during blah 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 blah, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Because I play on again, off again, and forgot. And then,
Sure.
I'm really into paper crafts actually. I put it
Hmm.
come so I've played Kaladesh
Hmm.
and
Ixalan.
Ixalan and
Yeah, I see that.
Amonkhet, and
Wow.
then these are the card boxes that I made
That's amazing.
so that
Wait, you're into
my
paper craft,
cards
so
are in there.
that's incredible.
So anyway,
That's awesome.
so uh, but that's an offshoot of Magic. I collect all the trash. Everybody opens their stuff, and then they're like throwing it. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. Wait, I'll make my camera go. Here we go. Blair Witch trial. Can you see maybe? Oh, I'm pointing on the screen. Let's see. Over here.
Yep. Uh-huh.
What set's that? See all the boxes?
Oh,
Those are the
all the
boxes.
boxes up there? Oh, wow.
And then this is as well. These are boxes of
Wow.
Magic. Because some
That's
of them, when you
incredible.
put them all together, they look
Yeah,
really cool.
they
And
sure
so
do.
I forget what set that is. That might be Kaladesh. The one with Thopters, lots of Thopters.
Yeah,
Kaladesh,
that
for
sounds like
sure.
Kaladesh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of Thopters. But anyway, I did have questions for you guys. Oh, how about cosplay? Did you ever do any cosplay? I'm gonna let the dog out so he is quiet.
Hmm,
Did you guys ever do any
sure.
cosplay?
I never did cosplay per se, but my mom she's a seamstress at the Majestic Theater in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Oh,
She does productions and theater. She's a costume designer and producer. So we always had the best Halloween costumes growing up. So I've been quite a few very realistic costumes. And she can get like the stage props as well for, the stage. So, when I went as Where was Waldo one year, I had a real cane, I had the beanie and the hat and the stripes and the real glasses. I was a cowboy one year and I had, the full getup with the 10-gallon hat and the stirrups and the holster. So if I wanted to cosplay, I definitely could get into that scene for sure. And I keep telling her, when she retires, because she's a biologist by trade, but this is like her second job. When she retires, she could just do cosplay costumes because that's such a huge
oh yeah.
thing because she would be so good at it. She's very creative and can basically find anything from any era. If it's a classical look that's like 20s or 30s, all the way through like futuristic, neo-futurist, spacesuits and things like that. I mean, she really has the whole gambit of costumes available. But I've never done
Gavin,
it myself, cosplaying. Mm-hmm.
if your mom retired today,
Mm-hmm.
she could probably just start doing the con circuit, the convention circuit
Sure,
with a table and
absolutely.
just take commissions
Oh
and
yeah.
Absolutely.
probably make more money than she was making as a biologist and do that.
Well, she's
And
a
I'm
state
not
employee
saying you
for
could
Connecticut,
retire from
so
your job and be her manager or
Yeah.
business partner, but maybe you could, and it might be pretty rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just take my mom on the circuits here. Yeah, no, she's very happy with what she does. I mean, she's over 100 productions now with the Majestic, so
Oh wow.
she's very seasoned. She's done everything from kind of wedding production attire for actual weddings and for stage weddings, all the way through, stupid little Halloween costumes for me as a kid. And, even as an adult, I still ask for some, if I'm going as Indiana Jones, I know she'd be able to get her hands on a whip. So,
Sweet.
yeah.
Meanwhile, back
We
at
did
the
a lot of
ranch,
DIY costumes growing up also. My dad and I spent hours and hours in the mid 90s paper macheing a Rocketeer helmet and backpack so I could
Heck
be
yeah.
the Rocketeer. If
Yeah.
anybody is
Nice.
old enough to remember that movie from Disney.
I remember the Iron Giant, but I don't remember the Rocketeer. Might
The
have been
Rocketeer
before
is a
my
live
time.
action movie.
Okay.
It takes place in the 30s, and it's like a super noir superhero pulp hero kind of
Cool.
comic-y movie. It's great.
Nice.
well,
Vintage
you didn't see it on its
airplanes.
first run.
Oh yeah, we saw it in theaters, and I was
In
hooked on it.
1930? I don't think
Oh well,
so.
the movie's not from then, but that's when it takes
Oh, okay.
place.
Oh, okay.
No, the movie came out in like 91,
Ah.
but it takes place in the 30s.
Hmm. Paul just looks like he's from the 30s because he has his cool newsy cap.
Yeah.
The meanwhile, my mom for my Halloween costumes, one year she took a cardboard box and I went with my friend and we were a pair of dice. So,
That's
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 just
sweet.
creative.
That's
that's
smart. Yeah.
the level
That's
where we
awesome.
were. Throw a box on that girl.
Do
Arms
you
sticking
do
out
you do
like
any
this.
cosplay?
I love cosplay, but the people that do it in Magic
Hmm.
are so good that
Insane.
it's insane, and
Yeah.
I don't have the time or the
Hmm.
money that I want to
It's a lot of
invest in that.
sculpting. There's a lot of sculpting that happens,
Yeah.
because you're making swords and wings and all kinds of other stuff. There's a lot of styrofoam and polymers and things like that you have to. It's a whole production. It really
Yeah.
is. I mean, some of these folks who are doing the cosplays are also like movie costume designers and makeup artists and
Yeah.
folks who do this for their actual jobs, and they're exceptionally talented and very, very creative. And I always love to see them at the conventions because they put so much hard work into it, and to see it pay off in such an awesome way.
Yeah.
If you get to see Jace the Mind Sculptor in person, or you get to see Elspeth, or any of the other characters from Magic. If somebody pulled off a loot, I would be dumbfounded. But we can dream.
It'll happen. It'll
You think
happen.
it'll happen?
You're gonna show up to an SCG con and you're gonna see a Chandra carrying a little plush
A
loot that's
little
gonna look
plush loot. It's
lifelike.
gonna be a Labubu, isn't it?
I mean, it might be.
Uh, do you know the Labubu? Have you seen those Labubus?
No, I'm just
Okay,
smiling and nodding.
they're the next generation of Beanie Baby. I think they're
Yeah,
collectibles.
100%. They're
Oh,
Beanie Babies for Gen Alpha and
4
Gen Z.
4.0. Yeah.
ah,
There's these little they're almost like troll dolls. They've got like these really horrifying smiles, and they have different flavors of, personality. I think they were originally some sort of high-end luxury brand's mascot or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the entire lore behind it, but they're very popular right now. Many people are collecting them, and we'll see where it goes in a few years. Maybe it'll be worth millions or something.
well, I'm really
Maybe.
excited. There's something out there I don't feel the need to collect. So
There you go.
I got too much stuff as it
Yeah,
is. Are
honestly, it's probably one of the things that the next generation is going to be crazy for, and they'll look back in 10 years and be like, "What were we thinking, Labubu?"
well, how many
It's fun
people
to say
have
though.
McDonald's toys in their garage in
So
bags?
many. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
I still do somewhere. Actually, hold on one second. Ah,
Is that the Hamburglar?
I have a 1 year old, and so my parents have been cleaning out their house because my mom retired last year, and they've been unearthing all kinds of things from my childhood, and one of them is this Hamburglar car,
Oh my gosh, it is the Hamburglar.
which
My goodness.
this has lore behind it. My
Yeah.
sister and I were hardcore collecting all these little wind up cars, and we could never get a Hamburglar car. So one time, one of us got a Hamburglar car, and don't remember who now, but we couldn't agree on whose it was, whose collection it was gonna become part of. And we
Hmm.
argued and we argued and we fought and we fought. And so my dad took it away and neither
No.
of us got it. And it lived on this top shelf that was in our kitchen for a long time. And then it eventually disappeared. And no idea whatever became of it. And then 30 years later, my mom's cleaning out their house and finds it tucked away in
Lo
a
and
random
behold.
box somewhere. And so now I have
So
this
now it's
tiny
yours.
little.
You are officially the winner. You have
Yeah.
I
won
guess
the
30 years
sibling
later.
wars.
Sorry, Carrie. It's mine now. It's going to be Cam's. Oops.
In near mint condition.
In pretty decent condition, yeah.
Yeah.
It's too bad we don't have any of the rest of them. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, did you play with them?
Oh, we played with all the other ones until their heads snapped off, the wheels came off. We played really hard with all of our toys. We were in whatever it was, we got the full dollar value out of each of them.
Yeah.
Well, you guys were raised very competitively, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, I was really surprised. I was in the middle of California down by Santa Maria, and there's a big swap meet in the Comeau. And I I went there and there was one whole booth. I mean, one of the people that like rents space at the swap meet, and it's just all uh McDonald's toys. And
Wow.
I was just like, wow. And obviously they're making a living because they were there the next year when I go, and the next year and the next year and the next year. But it's very
There's
nostalgic to walk in there.
there's always a market, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody's collecting something, right?
Well,
I
think
always
of
used to love the Guinness Book of World Records. I would love just flipping through the pages and just seeing the massive collections of, whether it's Nintendo games or plushies or art. But it's one of those things where collectibles will always be it'll always be a part of like kind of the human experience. I don't know a single person that doesn't collect something, right?
Well,
one of the
in
things
America anyway. I don't know about other countries, but
That's a good point.
one of the things that's always fascinated me is Pez collecting.
Mm. Connecticut
Like
invention, by the way.
Connecticut, yeah, Connecticut invention. Shout out Connecticut and the Pez factory down here, which I believe you can take tours of
You
if
absolutely can.
that strikes your fancy. But Pez collecting was so serious in like the 90s, early 2000s, kind of the pre-internet era, that apparently some guy was flying to Europe and buying European exclusive Pez and flying them back in his luggage, like carrying nothing with him to Europe, filling suitcases with Pez dispensers that you couldn't get in the US because they were European only, and
It's
flying back to the US and selling them at hundreds of dollars or whatever a
it's
price.
just the law of
wow.
supply and demand, man. That's all it
Well,
is.
there's a
Yeah.
whole documentary about this guy that I have saved on Netflix and I'm dying to watch. I just haven't
Hmm.
gotten around to it yet.
You'll have to
Oh,
give us a
that's a,
summary.
yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of documentaries, did you catch the Magic the Gathering documentary? Paul, you were talking about it earlier.
I saw it the day it released online. We bought a copy of it. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Uh,
I won't spoil anything for you for people who don't know the full
wait,
story.
does Magic come into existence and they continue to make Magic to this day?
Well,
That's a spoiler.
that does happen, but there's a lot that happened in the Magic story that's really interesting and
Hmm.
neat to see.
Hmm.
And the producers and the directors behind the documentary did a really cool job of tying the different interviews and story arcs together with animations,
Hmm.
Oh,
which was
Cool.
totally unexpected when I went into watching, and I thought it was really good. It was a really cool way to like
It's a nice touch.
show things happening back in the past and etc. When somebody's describing something that happened 30 years ago and there's little animated figures reenacting what they
That's
described and
awesome.
stuff. It was really well done. I was really
What's it called
impressed.
again?
that's awesome.
If anybody wanted to watch it?
Igniting the Spark.
Igniting the spark.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um I wouldn't say that I personally learned anything that I didn't already know. I would say it was all kind of stuff that I knew already, but
I mean, you are writing a
also
book.
also
Yeah.
spoiler alert, I'm writing a book on the history of 90s trading card games. I've been researching and writing it for going on 5 years now. I'm hoping to see the end of the tunnel soon and hand it off to the publisher. But we'll get there. We're not celebrating yet, you know. Just like in Magic, you never celebrate early.
That's
That's
right.
true.
That's um I'm excited, Paul, to hear about your book. Maybe that's something we could talk about another time. Uh,
Okay.
this is my latest book, Bridge of Elementary, A Big History of a Small School, and my one from 2021,
Oh
The
wow.
People and Places of California's Expositions. Uh, I'm excited because Cal Poly Humboldt just picked up um, the Bridgeville School one. And
Amazing.
so it's going to come out again in a different format. I self-published those, and the Cal Poly Press, it was great to work with an editor. I
Mm.
love that. Getting some feedback and uh, stretching, doing more research, filling in gaps. It was really great.
Virginia, if you're writing a lot of nonfiction, I would highly recommend sending your ideas for stuff to McFarland Books. They do a whole lot of nonfiction stuff, and they're a fantastic publisher.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I'm glad this is recorded so I don't have to write it down. The 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 press at Cal Poly, I think they're interested in putting out whatever I got going on. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's very validating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
So
imagine.
yeah.
Well, you are obviously a very interesting and funny person. I love talking with you. I could do it like all day, honestly. Just like I feel like I've known you for years.
Yeah, it
Um,
does feel that way.
it was a real pleasure to come on your show, and
Yeah, thank you for having us.
we're so happy to be here.
Oh, well, thank you so much for making time in your night, especially with the time difference. I really
Mm,
appreciate it.
of
I'll
course,
send
if
you
you
a
wanted
link
to, yeah.
to how you can see it. Um,
Hmm.
Unfortunately, the only way I know how to publish it at this time is I do it through my Patreon page, but you
Hmm.
can sign on for free and you don't have to put any money on, and uh, and then you can have access to it.
Of
So I'll
And
make
course.
sure
and
it's
if
put
people
up.
want to listen to Gavin and I banter about limited magic, we're on YouTube at Pick One Pack One Pod.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
our show.
And that's
Pick
us
one,
on
pack one
all
pod.
that's us on all the things. Pick one, pack one pod. So people can shout at us on Blue Sky. They can look at my questionable decks on Instagram when we get around to posting on Instagram and things like that.
Yeah, we're very big limited players. Obviously, we play almost every week, but we do other stuff too. Cubes. We just had a nice sealed and Commander. What was it? Commander Legacy
We did Commander Legends for a friend's
Legends.
50th birthday party,
That was
which
awesome.
that was a wild trip. I'm not a huge fan of the Commander Legends formats,
Hmm.
just because I'm not the biggest Commander fan
Right.
personally. But I did think we had a good time, and every player at in our pod, at least Gavin and I were in different pods. Every player in our pod got to kind of make their
Do the
deck
thing.
do its thing,
Yeah.
and each one all did pretty well.
Yeah, I ended up winning my pod because Chroma's Will is a stupid card and, wins a lot of games on its own. But, obviously we love talking Magic. If you want to follow us, if you liked our stories and listening to what we have to say, you can always chat us up. We record podcasts about limited Magic, but other stuff too. So don't forget to follow us and give us a like.
And Virginia, we need to have you on our podcast to talk about
Absolutely.
kind of your magic journey and what
I
keeps
know
you
that our
coming back.
listeners, I know that our listeners would just absolutely love you having you as a guest. So
Oh,
we got
well,
to make that happen.
anytime. Anytime that I'm not in Peru, I'd be happy to do that.
We'll book around that.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming and have a great night.
Okay.
Yeah, you too.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.